I'm back. I hope this works today. I guess Spirit wanted me to talk about something else. I guess Spirit had another video idea in mind. And so please hop on in, come on in the room because, baby, Mercury retrograde and its effects on your relationships is real. We are going to try this again. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Okay, I hear me. Yes. Let's go. Listen. Mercury retrograde. Y'all, this is some deep stuff. This is some deep stuff. Like Mercury retrograde, its effects on relationships is real, okay? And its effect on your relationships is real. Some of y'all probably been having disagreements. Some of y'all probably can't stop thinking about your past. Some of y'all probably are getting caught up. Right? All of that good stuff like that. So let's go ahead and talk about that, right? Because at first I was coming on to talk about the woman king, and Spirit must be like, you know what? Don't even worry about that. Let's talk about how it's affecting your relationships, which still is an embodiment of masculine and feminine energy. That's what I was wanting to talk about with y'all. How our masculine and our feminine energy, how there's been a battle between that. That's what I originally was going to talk about. But obviously, we need to talk about Mercury retrograde and the downloads that I've received from it. So, in the comments, please let me know that you can hear me. Please let me know that you can hear me. Please let me know that you can see me. Let me know. All right. Say what's up. Say hey. Okay. I had a recent download on what Mercury retrograde actually is, and I want to share that. I want to share that download with y'all about what Mercury retrograde actually is and the effects that it has on our relationship. So we already know the planet Mercury is the planet of thought. Okay? The planet Mercury is the planet of thought. It's the planet of consciousness. It's the planet of knowledge. It's the planet of intelligence. It's the planet of communication, right? That's what the planet Mercury is. Okay. And then I'm going to share this download with y'all because Dream had told me last week when this came to my mind on Sunday. Dream was like, you need to say that, communicate that. You need to put it out there. You need to document that. So I'm going to document it with y'all today. Right? Mercury is the planet that is known to be the messenger of the gods. Right? That's what Mercury is. Mercury is the messenger of the gods, right? Communication, relaying a message. And it's so dope and it's so amazing because you, as a divine sacred being, are a god or a goddess. So Mercury is your messenger. Mercury is the planet that aligns and allows you to express yourself in a creative way. But when Mercury goes retrograde, especially in this Libra energy, you can bet that there's going to be some miscommunication throughout your most intimate relationships. You can bet that the expression of your thoughts may get out of balance. You can bet that you are going to have to create some justice, right? You can bet that you're going to have to create some justice between your relationships. You're going to have to balance out those scales. And so this Mercury retrograde is really giving us that energy, which is why this is such a timely topic even with the fact of me talking about why Black men and Black women are at war, right? It's so in alignment with what I was going to be talking about originally. If y'all don't know, I tried to go live earlier at 1:00, my normal live stream time. Tried to go live then, and the sound was messing up, right? My computer completely froze. It completely stopped, and I had to just get off the live stream. I just had to stop. I just had to end the video. And what I was going to be talking about was The Woman King, that movie, and the battle between man and woman, masculine and feminine energy. And whether you want to believe it or not, there is a plot. There is a conscious, deliberate effort to separate Black men and women and to have Black men and women at odds. And that has been present for decades and decades and decades and decades, right? But more prevalently right now, we see in the media a lot of Black men talking about, how they don't like Black women, or Black women got to do this, and so on and so forth. And so it's literally been a conversation consistently about the shortcomings of Black men and women in relationships. Y'all let me know in the chat if you've observed that. If not, I want to tell y'all, there is a page on Instagram called The Conversation, right? It's called something like that, The Conversation. And this entire page on Instagram is literally dedicated to Black men and women having conversations about relationships. Okay? And it's so powerful to observe. It's so powerful, to look at and to witness these conversations that they're having. But what I realize is that there has been a blatant disregard on what it is to be feminine, what it is to be a woman, and a disregard to what it is to be a man. Okay? And so if people don't know what true femininity and true masculinity is, then there's going to be some beef between men and women, right? Because we have men who are super feminine, right? And we have women who are super masculine. And you wonder why you can't get along. It's because you're out of balance. You're out of balance within yourself as a divine sacred being, as a real androgynous being who has both masculine and feminine energies. There's a lack of balance right there. And there's a lack of balance between how you decide to show up within your relationships. If women do not know they are masculine, then they'll be going around, and this happens all the time, right? You have masculine women who say, okay, I want a man who can take care of me. I want a man who's going to love me. I want a man who's going to be a provider. But you have masculine energy. And then wonder why you get in relationships and it's combative and it's argumentative and y'all can't seem to get on the same page. Okay? I know somebody is going to be offended by this, but a lot of men cheat on, and it's not the only reason. It's not the only reason, but I've literally observed men cheat on women who are masculine. And that's not to say that they don't cheat on feminine women, because they do. But a lot of times, if a masculine man is in a relationship with a masculine woman, he will go out and look for a feminine woman. Someone who is more gentle, someone who is more nurturing, someone who is more caring. Okay? It just is what it is. And women do it too. If a man is more feminine and he is not, pursuing his goals, he's not disciplined, he doesn't have a vision for his life, he's not getting things done, a woman will go seek and search for a man, at least on an emotional level, who is going to make her feel like she is nourished, who is going to make her feel like she is nurtured, who is going to make her feel like she can rest in her femininity. Okay? But this Mercury thought, retro, meaning past, grade, meaning value, this Mercury retrograde is really causing a lot of us to reflect on the way that we think, right? The way that we think and the value that we've placed on things in our past. And here's what you have to understand. The way that you relate to men, ladies, and the way that you relate to women, men, is based off of your past, right? As children, we are always mirroring our parents. Okay? As children, we are always mirroring our parents. And then when we get to a certain age, we just decide, okay, I don't want to be nothing like my mother, or I don't want to be nothing like my father. And then we turn around and we do the exact opposite. We don't create balance, right? For example, my brother has a wife who is toxically feminine, right? There is a such thing as toxic femininity. And toxic femininity shows up as a woman who feels like she don't have to do nothing. A woman who literally wants the man to do everything, right? Who feels like she is just, and a lot of times it happens to daddy's girls, right? Girls who are daddy's girls whose daddies have done absolutely everything for them, where the daughter did not have to do anything for herself. That is how that shows up. That toxic femininity can show up in girls who are severely daddy's girls. But my brother manifested a wife who is a crazy daddy's girl, right? Crazy daddy's girl. And the crazy part is that my brother, we grew up with a single mother. We grew up with a mother who is strong, who is independent, who really did not need a man. She really lived her life that way, right? She was heavy in her masculine energy. She did not nurture herself. She didn't care for herself. So my brother manifested the exact opposite of my mother. And now in that relationship, he don't really know how to function. He don't really know how to really take care of a woman, because he grew up with a mother who could take care of herself, who could make things happen. But he has a wife now who is super duper needy on so many levels. Okay? So this Mercury retrograde is really forcing us to reflect on the way that we've thought about our relationships in the past based off of our childhood. Okay? So we really have to understand who we are and why. What has developed us into being the person that we are and how we show up in relationships. All right? I know for me personally, I needed and was craving, right, someone who was going to be in that leadership role. And I wanted that and I needed that because, like I said, I grew up with the mother who was very independent, who was very strong. And so for me, in all of my past relationships before Dream, I was like the leader. I was the teacher. I was the one that was saying, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Did you think about this? Like I had to be all of that before my relationship with Dream. So Dream was actually very attractive to me once I became conscious, right? Because at one point I wasn't even consciously aware of what he was showing me. But when I became more conscious, more in tune with myself, he became even more attractive to me because I saw a leader in him. Right? I saw a leader in him. And this allowed me to really sit back and rest in that feminine energy. But this Mercury retrograde has helped me to realize, okay, I can't be all feminine. I can't be all feminine. I need some of that masculine energy. I need to be the person that comes up with certain ideas, that pursues certain goals. I have to be able to do that as well. All right. As y'all come in, say what's up, and also like and share the video. Y'all don't know or understand the level of persistence that it took to get here on this live stream today. Right? I tried to go live twice. At my normal live stream time, and it just was not working. So now that we have video, now that we have sound, I need y'all to show up, show out, represent. Thank you, James. James came through and said, peace, fam. Right? I appreciate that. Roku came on and said, "Oh, bet I'm not late." Yes, welcome, 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 welcome. I'm glad to have y'all. Like and share, because listen, it took work to get here today. It took work to get here today. Listen, this Mercury retrograde is really forcing you to look at your relationships. Do you communicate effectively? Do you communicate honestly and truthfully? Dream and I were having a conversation, I want to say like the first day or two when Mercury retrograde started. And I was listening to us talk. I was literally hearing myself contradict myself like in the same sentence. Like literally, I would say one thing and then I would say something totally different, like in the same sentence. I was like, damn, hold on. Why are my words so confused and like jumbled up right now? It's not making sense. And then I was actually able to observe it from Dream too. I'm like, you just said this and now you saying this. Like, which one is it? That's that Mercury retrograde energy that you got to pay attention to within yourself. Right? This Mercury retrograde is really calling us to reflect on how we are showing up as far as that masculine and that feminine energy. Like, what do you want? What do you want? Like, do you want, for men, you got to ask yourself, do you really want to be in that leadership space? Do you really want to be the leader of your household and the decision maker of your household? Or do you want us to be on the same level? Do you want it literally to be, you don't have the final say, we have the final say? What do you really want? Ladies, you have to ask yourself, do you really want a man that is a leader? And with that, are you okay with being submissive? You got to ask yourself that, right? Because and the word submission is a funny word because people have all of these meanings surrounding it. But I really had to ask myself, do I want Dream to just make all the decisions and me just be submissive and me just, if he says this is what we're doing, do I just want to say, okay, this is what we're doing? Because at one point in my mind, I thought that that's what I really wanted, for Dream to tell me what to do and what we were doing. And then I realized, like, hold on, your energy is not even set up that way. Not with the strong-willed Leo segment mama that you have. That's not really what you're not like. That's not really you. Because I had to realize within myself, this Mercury retrograde really made me reflect on the authority issues that I'm working through. Okay. I really had to look at that. This Mercury retrograde energy is making you, especially within your relationships, reflect on the past beliefs, right? The past thoughts and the past values that you've placed on certain things, right? I used to feel, I did, y'all, for real. And I'm glad that Dream is on here because the download is coming through right now. But I used to feel some type of way about always having to lead my past little high school, college boyfriends, right? Like I would be frustrated. Like, why am I always telling you what to do? Why am I always telling you how to be better? Why am I always? And so I felt bad about that. I felt bad about that because I felt like I was dominating them. I felt like I was controlling them. And I thought that was a negative thing based off of my observation from my mother, because my mother is very strong, very dominating, very passionate woman. And so when I realized that I was doing that in my, early adulthood relationships, when I realized that I was doing that, I had to take a step back. And I had placed value on only dating or relating to a man who could teach me something, right? And that caused me to kind of really, in a sense, kind of take a step back, right? And not show my assertiveness and not integrate the masculine energy that I have. All right. So that's what I had to realize. And I had to realize over this past week or so that we've been in Mercury retrograde, that it is okay for me to assert myself in certain spaces and places. That it's okay for me to say, no, dream, I think that we should do this. Or even for me to be the idea, me to be the spark, right? This Mercury retrograde is really causing us within our relationships, especially because the Mercury retrograde is in this Libra energy. Right now, we are on the Libra Virgo cusp. That's where we're at right now. Libra is about relationships. It's about balance. It's about justice. It's about having an equal playing field. Okay? So you really got to reflect on that in this season. Right? You really got to reflect on that in this season and understand, how your past situations, how the lack of balance in your past caused you to behave and react a certain way right now in your present moments. It's so dope. And when you reflect on that, this is how you will be a better communicator. This is how you will better express what it is that you need. Right? But when it comes down to Mercury retrograde, family, you have to understand that this energy is at play. I know you spiritual. I know you conscious. I know you are in control of your own reality. I know all of that, and I believe you. I 100% believe you. I know that you are capable of transmuting the energy that we are receiving from these planetary bodies. I get that. But you better have some patience. You better have some patience and respect the energy, right? You need to learn to respect the energy, because if you don't respect the energy, which is really egotistical, if you don't respect the energy, you'll end up arguing with your husband and wife, or arguing with your children, or arguing with your coworker, not being able to meet eye to eye, having issues with your technology, having issues with the things that you need to do, having issues with the way that you are communicating your knowledge, your wisdom. You'll be having those issues and you are frustrated, you lack patience, you're angry, and you don't know how to navigate it. And it's because you're not respecting the energy that is present. Okay? Respect this energy so that when you are in those moments of miscommunication, you don't think that it's the end all be all. Some of y'all are going to feel like you got to break up. Some of y'all are going to say things that sends a message to your partner to where you question why y'all are even in a relationship. You'll be like, why are we even together if that is how you feel? If that is what you're thinking? If that is what you're feeling, why are we even doing this right now? Right? You'll have those thoughts, and it's because you are not respecting the messenger of the gods. You're not respecting this Mercury. And you're not respecting the energy that it is in right now, which is this Virgo Libra cusp. So what we're talking about is Virgo, meaning, your work ethic, your discipline, right? Your practices, your abundance, and the ways that you show up in order for you to get things done. And then Libra, we're talking about balance within your relationships, balance within yourself. Is your heart as light as a feather? Right? We're talking about justice. We're talking about the legal system. We're talking about contracts. We're talking about all of those things. And if you don't honor that, you don't respect that, you're going to say some things and do some things that may lead you in a situation where after the Mercury retrograde passes, you're dissatisfied. So in this season right now, family, with this Mercury retrograde, you really need to reflect on the way that you think about your past relationships, on the way that you think about your business, on the way that you think about abundance, on the way that you think about your self-discipline. You need to really reflect on that. Okay? Retro means the past. We're taking it back. You need to be reflecting on those things. Reflecting on your beliefs about money, your relationship to money. You need to reflect on that. Right? Because this is an opportunity for you to transform the value that you've placed on specific types of things. Right? I used to think it was a bad thing for a woman to be in a place of power. That's what I used to think, because my mom, when she was dominating these men, when she was bruising their egos, it led to being in abusive relationships. Literally, it led to my mother fighting men and me seeing this because she was such a dominant figure. So I had this extreme belief of, and it's so crazy how spirituality works and how beliefs work. But I had this extreme belief that women should not be telling men what to do, right? I had that belief, I had that thought in my mind, and then at the same time, I would still be telling men what to do. Okay? You have to understand when it comes down to, the way that you think, the way that you feel, and the way that you act. The very things that you are opposed to, a lot of times you end up doing it, or it ends up happening. The very things that you resent or regret about your parents, about your family, right? You end up doing and living out that thing. And so Mercury retrograde gives you the opportunity to reflect on that, right? To reconnect to that so that you can do something different, so that you can create something different. So I want y'all to really pay attention to that. And ladies, I want you to join my workshop this Saturday. Fingers crossed that Mercury retrograde will be on my side, because I'm not fighting it. But I still have to do my workshop. I still have to handle my business, right? I'm not going to let it stop me from showing up in the divine space that I need to show up in. So Mercury retrograde, work with me for the workshop. Ladies, I'm doing a workshop this Saturday, turning masculine energy into feminine power, right? Turning masculine energy into feminine power. See, that dominating energy, that was masculine energy. And right now, I've learned how to balance that and use that for my feminine power and use that for my feminine essence. So I'm doing a workshop on that this Saturday, September 24th, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? Because I want you women to understand that you need your masculine energy. Some of you, your masculine, you don't have enough. You don't have enough, and therefore you don't pursue goals. Therefore, you're not disciplined. Therefore, you don't, approach life strategically. And then for others of you, you are overly masculine. You're overly in that masculine energy, and all you do is pursue goals, and you don't know how to sit back and allow life to do what it's going to do. You don't know how to sit back and just lean into the unknown. You don't know how to be okay in that darkness. You don't know how to be okay with being inside of yourself. So, ladies, we need to understand how to balance that out, not only so that we can show up better in our relationships with our divine masculine partners, but so that we can truly start to manifest and create a life that we actually want to live. Okay? So I don't want to stay on here too long. That's my message for y'all today. Thank you for all the people who did show up for your girl. I'm glad that the video and the sound is working. I'm glad about that. I will be still having the workshop on Saturday. I do plan on going live on Friday, and we're just going to see what happens. But for now, enjoy this content. Enjoy this Mercury retrograde. Enjoy being tested. Enjoy growing your patience. Enjoy learning more about yourself and how you show up in relationships. All right? That's my time. Love y'all. Peace. I'll be seeing you soon.